Hey there, this is Kelly Leahy. I'm the tech coach at Collins Intermediate, and in this video, I'm explaining how you can make activities or slides that the students can move some elements around on the slide or type on the slide without moving the background around or without moving other elements around while they're trying to type. So typically, this is used in science for drag and drop activities, social studies and language arts. You might have a writing prompt and you make the background look kind of cute, or maybe you have notes. Maybe it's a stop and jot and you've kind of decorated it around, make it look appealing to the students. But as you can see in this, when a student drags and drops, they can accidentally be moving other parts around. So this video helps you understand how you can kind of lock this down. So let's get started. First of all, I open up a new presentation. And in that new presentation, I'm going to go to File and I'm going to choose Page Setup if I'm doing a drag and drop. And I'm doing that standard 4x3 and I'm clicking on Apply. And the reason for that when I do a drag and drop is so that I have more space around here, around the edge. So the drag and drop pieces, or maybe it's math and you're doing something in math, but equations or something, but they can lay around the edges of the slide and the students will still see them. So the second thing I'm doing is instead of working on this slide right here, we're actually going to work in a slide called the master view. So I'm going to view and I'm choosing master. And when I do that, I'm getting to kind of like the back side of the presentation. So the master slide is the slide that is going to be the background of every single slide in the presentation. But I'm actually not going to work on this first one that's called master. I want to work on a layout. And so I'm scrolling down and I have already made a couple of these, but really what you do is you just scroll down to the blank one, right click and choose copy, and then right click and paste. And do that a few times so you have a few blank ones, because once you start doing this kind of activity, it's much more appealing to the kids to see a slide that has some kind of visual appeal than just a blank one that's white on the background or a plain solid color. So now I'm taking that one slide that's the blank layout, and now I'm going to use this space to make the layout for my drag and drop. But you do the same with like a language arts activity. If it's a stop and jot and you want the kids to remember a few things to write about, and you don't want those kids to be able to move around those text boxes that you're typing. So here we go. I had a cork background on this one. So just for FYI, you can go find cork background, and I chose large so it was nice and big. So I'm just going to come back here though for speed and quickness of making this. I'm clicking on the background. I'm choosing Control C to copy. I'm going to be right here, Control V. Now you'll notice that my slide fit, my cork background fit exactly the way it needed to, which is great. But just in case, I want to show you something that's really important. When you're working with pictures, you can double click on the picture and edit it or crop it. See the black handle right here, the black handle right here, and there's a black one down here, and you can resize that. You can see the original picture was a little bit long, but I just pulled it in and now I click away and it crops that section of cork off. So that's how you can not resize it, but actually crop it. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with the word art. I'm copying that. Now in your real life, you'd be creating it, but just for the speed, I've got a text box here. So what you'd be doing is making all of these items on your layout. I've got a GIF here of a cute little dog. I want to again show you what the, whoopsie, I put it on the wrong slide. Let's go put it back here. There you go, and I'm going to delete it from this one. let me show you what I did with the dog too. It's the same idea. I double click, see that GIF was just a little bit too big. I had too much empty space around the edges, so I double clicked and brought those black handles in, dragged them in, and then clicked away, and it crops that. And then I'm going to the page. That looks like the note page. And again, I am just, well, the beauty of that is I didn't want a white background on the note paper. So when I did a search for this, I typed in notepad paper, but then I clicked on tools. And when I click on tools, I chose color and picked transparent so that the note paper is just the note paper and not a white box behind it. So now I'm going to right click and choose copy image. I'm remembering that it's from this website, I can't read that, but I'll be typing that in just a moment. So now I right click and paste. There it is. Drag it, make it a little bit smaller. Alrighty, so now, I don't know if you've noticed, but I have not given credit where credit should be given. So I'm making a text box right now down here in the bottom right corner. And you guys know me, images from, and then, least amount of credit, but you got to get it in there. VIP. Great. And then the dog was from, let's copy this paper. Remember, I'm doing Control C or Command C if you've got a Mac. And if you have a Chromebook, you are doing the two-finger click. It is a what we call the snake bite click. Two fingers apart, but hitting down on the touchpad at the same time. Alrighty, and the next thing is I'm taking my text box and I'm pasting that. And again, you guys would be just creating all of this on the slide that is a blank slide, but it's in the master slide stack. And that way it's all going to be it's all going to end up being locked down. It's going to be really awesome. And then you'll be able to use it again and again, just switch things out. Alrighty, so then I also put the directions. I'm not putting the little drag and drop text boxes around the edges here because we want the kids to be able to manipulate that. So I'm back here. Looks like I got everything. I got my images here, but I'm going to actually make that a little bit smaller. There you go. Alrighty, so now what do we do now? We finished our background. The only thing we need to do now is make our little drag and drop text boxes. Or in the case of a language arts or social studies activity, you actually may be finished now because you aren't going to make drag and drop boxes. So I click back at slide 1 in my slide sorter over on the left-hand side of my screen. It looks like everything's gone. I'm not going to freak out because watch this. I go to layout and then I choose this one down here. Now, again, I want to remind you, you could, if you've got a bunch of different themes you want to work off of, I'm thinking about language arts or social studies in particular, you can have one presentation that's nothing but a bunch of different themes, and then you can click on the theme and bam, there's your slide. And all of this is stuck. And the thing that I like most about it, it still allows you to have the little movable pictures. So if you do a GIF or a little video or whatever, it's all there. And the other thing that's really great about it is that it's not fuzzy, because there's a couple other ways to do, to lock down backgrounds, but sometimes the images come out a little bit fuzzy. So now you're ready to do, if you're doing drag and drop, you're ready to make your little text boxes. Now, if you don't know how to make those text boxes, Let me show you. I'm going to paste one right now. And I don't know if you noticed, but the text box has a little dotted line. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. So when I make my text box, I can choose the text box tool, and then I click and drag. But see, there's some tools up here. There's the fill color, the border color, and then there's the border weight, so I can change the thickness. And then there's also the border style or the border dash. So you can have polka dots or you can have a solid. The default is solid. Alrighty, then of course it becomes a Google Cloud assignment in Canvas. And so I hope that helps you guys, and thanks for listening.